Hello, everyone, and welcome back to D&D&D&D&D campaign number 2 of Black Ink and Blue Blood. When we last left off, the party made their way into the lands of Tebadra, the kingdom of thieves where Caleb and Zephyr, supporting royal heritage, come from. Entering into the outlying forest town of Fuse, while Caro, Tuco, and What's-His went to pass on the party's companions into a relatively safe place, as safe as anything gets in this place. The rest of the party got down to brass tacks and started investigating and planning their next move. Caleb, Zephyr, and Lucian, while investigating the area, discovered that the same mysterious enchantment that befell Caleb has also been befalling other Tebadra natives. And as a result, the party's old friend from months ago, Q, has been hung as being assumed to be the guilty party in this affair after being discovered alongside his enchanted fiancée.
So is he dead?
Yes,
Yeah,
very
he
dead.
did.
Oh, okay, I thought it was like a whole we need to stop the hanging.
He very
Yeah,
he's,
a little late for
he's
that.
very dead. What am I thinking of? He is
That's
very
fine.
dead.
I mean, it's probably
Very,
something.
very sincerely dead. Like
Caleb
the lollipop
reunited.
killed.
Caleb reunited with his blood family, his cousins, the Bladovich sisters, who agreed for a small fee to smuggle the party into Rosewick, where Zephyr and Caleb are still wanted by the princess as penance for their slain lover. Meanwhile, as Caleb, Zephyr, and Lucian negotiate the party's future, and the suspicious, paranoid inhabitants of the city continue to dart around nervously, wondering who the enchantment will befall next, as many do seem to be of the mind that it was likely not Q who committed these crimes, simply an act by the local lord, Torque, to attempt to bring some semblance of peace as people were beginning to panic. Meanwhile, while all this investigation and necromancy is going on, Tuco?
Necromancy.
There's
Tuco?
no necromancy at all.
Tuco, Caro, and What's-His, you headed out earlier today to get Caro's animals in a stable and the carriage somewhere where it is statistically least likely to be robbed the moment you're not looking at it.
Do we have anything valuable in the carriage?
There's like the little storage area where you guys just put anything you don't feel like carrying.
It has a storage space?
Yes. I swear, I talk at the air sometimes for how much people internalize what I'm saying.
I mean, in hindsight, it's fairly logical that it would have storage, but for some reason, it just never computed with me.
Fuck, Matthew. Just roast us all.
Don't worry, you'll forget I roasted you.
Jerk.
Yeah, we'll fail to internalize it.
Yeah, I'll do it out of spite.
Out of spite.
Yeah. That's how I get you guys to remember my narration. I get to the like, oh, this is what the place looks like. This is where you are. This is who's who. This is what's going on. And just to reiterate, I don't think any of you will be able to remember this, and everyone will remember it purely just out of spite.
Nah, that won't work with me.
I remember you had to tell Lucian to stop remembering things they're not supposed to remember.
I remember.
Keen mind?
But some of us are sick during this stream, so the energy is going to be a bit weird this week. Sorry about that.
I have COVID, everyone. I've got the coof.
It's very uncouth of you.
It is. That was good. That was good.
Just like the thiefdom. That's where we are. We're in the thiefdom.
Fuck.
Tuco, Caro, and What's-His. As you leave your comrades at the tavern to ask a few questions. As you leave them at the tavern to ask a few questions, the three of you take the animals and assorted party belongings deeper into town to find a place to put them up. Caro, do you want to leave your animals in a stable for the night?
Yeah, I'll leave. Well, I'll leave most of them, but Garrow, of course, can come with me.
Mm-hmm. All right, so it'll be 2 gold, but I've already deducted it. I wasn't sure if you were going to make it, so I went ahead and deducted it from your inventory preemptively. So, yeah, it's 2 gold, but I've already taken it from your inventory.
Thank you.
What's-His, Tuco, as you make a pit stop at the stable for Caro to drop off their animals. Caro negotiating with a somewhat shifty-looking stable hand who promises that he will take good care of your creatures. As you're returning to the cart, the three of you see a figure approaching.
Uh-oh.
Humanoid, wearing a leather hood, gloves, and sleeveless armor. Smelling of blood. Has very long, dark hair you can see beneath the hood. And on his exposed right forearm, you can see a upside-down arrow tattoo. And on his back is a somewhat wicked-looking axe. And he approaches the carriage. Caro, as you're emerging out of the stable, Tuco sitting in the carriage itself, and What's-His, of course, in the coach seat, pedaling the party about. This blood-smelling, leather-clad figure, arms crossed, approaches the carriage, and just kind of stares over the three of you. Kind of
smells like.
Is he looking at?
One more time.
Looking at us?
Yes.
I just came back.
Yeah, he's looking at all of you.
What's the matter, mate?
He kind of stares at you for a moment, and finally, after a moment, speaks in a somewhat low, kind of hushed, almost kind of scratchy voice as he looks over the three of you. I don't remember seeing any of you here before. Travelers.
Yeah, passing through for business.
No fairness, I don't exactly recall being here before either.
I've only been here once. It's been a while, though.
Just tell him your whole life story.
And what sort of business would that be that you're doing here?
Well, if you haven't noticed, I'm a bodyguard.
Make a deception check.
Oh, boy.
I would imagine that whenever he says make a deception check, that means his character's making an insight check.
Not necessarily. Actually, there is a passive
Nerd
insight.
talk, nerd talk.
Yeah, because there's a passive insight.
That's a dirty 20.
He kind of stares at you for a moment, and after a bit of contemplation, simply gives you a kind of flick of the head in acknowledgement. He seems to believe you. And looking to you, Caro, as you exit from the stable, Tuco in the carriage and what's his up front. He kind of sighs and shrugs his shoulders as he looks over the forest streets of Fuse. Very well. Attend to your business and be on your way. I'm kind of in the middle of something here, and I don't need any more suspects coming in and out and complicating matters.
Oh, what's going on? Everything seemed fine last time I came through.
He kind of quirks a brow briefly, but nodding to the three of you, he nods to the surrounding streets. They've got a curse sweeping through this place. Puts people to sleep and they never wake back up. Lord Torque called me in to investigate it. Suspects there might be magic about.
There absolutely is magic about.
Do you know something, Halfling?
Well, I do know that most people don't just often fall asleep on their own, never wake up.
I initially suspected it might be poison, but... And he kind of drums his fingers against his forearm, and... Well, I'm still looking into it. But once I heard rumors that there were strange travelers coming into town, I figured I should at least ask a few cursory questions. Wouldn't exactly be doing my job otherwise.
Oh, of course. Do I know who this guy is? Like, does he have a reputation?
Make a history check.
"22.
You recognize this as Govritz Murtvik, a adventurer who specializes in witch hunting. Usually he's called in by nobles who have something like a necromancer, a lich, or even just a low-level sorcerer that they want dealt with. He has a bit of a reputation for brutal methods, but he also has an incredible success rate. Supposedly, he's never failed a hunt, and while his methods are brutal, they are effective. You know that supposedly one of his greatest gifts that help him in his investigations is the ability to speak with the dead. Supposedly, he'll find the victims of local mages, interrogate them in the afterlife, and use that information to track down his targets.
What a nice fellow.
You also would know, and Tuco, I'll throw this in for you as a freebie. Karo, since Yavik isn't your native tongue, I'll say you can make a check to see if you know this, but Tuco and What's His would, I'll say, know it by default since Yavik is their native tongue. Or in Tuco's case, a very common second language. You know that his name literally translates to the speaker of the dead.
Fun.
Well, good luck on your hunts.
Though, I must ask, if you're a necromancer, have you found any, information yet from the dead?
He kind of quirks a brow at you. I'll let it slide, but bear in mind, Tuco, that information was given to What's His, not to you.
Why wouldn't Tuco know it?
Well, you didn't ask if he knew it. He kind of quirks a brow to you, but kind of looks off to the side, seeming a little... you can see a slight quirking of emotion in an otherwise stoic face. I'm not a necromancer. I don't bring people back from the dead. Anyhow. He holds up a hand. Anyhow. So far, I haven't found anything yet. Nobody can give me a name or a face.
Is it possible that they never saw whoever did it?
Certainly possible, but it does complicate matters if that's the case.
Like, have you tried, like, if it's magic, have you tried, like, detect magic or anything like that around the bodies? So at least give you an idea of what you're working with, at least.
He gives a nod, and I've confirmed it's enchantment, but that's the extent of what I've been able to find. Whatever this is, it's either not something known to most casters or something that's covering its tracks.
Well, best of luck to you.
You as well on your business. He kind of looks you over for a moment, and once you're finished with whatever you're doing here, mind if I accompany you back to your other compatriots? I would like to ask them a few questions as well, just to make sure I'm thorough.
Oh shit.
Sure. You'll meet him anyways, more than likely. We're not a very quiet bunch.
At this, you actually do see him quirk a small smirk, and people in our line of work seldom are. He turns and just kind of crosses his arms and waits as you guys take care of your business. Are you comfortable leaving the carriage somewhere in town, or do you want to keep it on you for the time being?
I think he's comfortable enough letting it stay somewhere in town for the time being.
All right.
Until we're ready for it again.
All right. In that case, 2 silvers to, 4 silvers. 4 silvers to leave your carriage in town for the night, somewhere where, again, you hope these people are trustworthy. It's a bit of a coin flip whether you're getting a Caleb or a Zephyr.
Well, regardless, he will pat his ionic axes with a very firm way of letting them know, mess with our stuff and it will end well. Not saying anything, but it is implied.
Yeah, it's not legally a threat.
Exactly.
The stable hand kind of grimaces a little bit, but if he notices the threat, he wisely chooses not to comment on it, simply similar to how he had with Caro, assuring you that he'll ensure your stuff is well taken care of. As you and Caro are completing your transactions, Tuco looking over the strange witch hunter that seems intent on investigating the party, kind of glances your way, but otherwise doesn't betray too much. Another figure approaches, although seeming like she's more going past you. You see a very lovely girl with dark hair, green eyes, and what appears to be a red dress passing by you. She, again, spares you a little more than a glance before and Caro, as you're completing your transactions. She rolls up next to the two of you. You two about done here?
Why,
Yeah,
hello.
we finished.
She whirls her head around to look at you, Tuco, as you pipe up from the carriage, and she gives you a smile. Oh, we don't get many halflings in these parts. What brings you here, handsome?
Handsome. What do you want? You want the money out of my wallet too?
I want anything that isn't nailed down. Welcome to Tevedra. She gives you a wide grin.
You're taking me for a ride, lassie.
That'll cost you extra, I'm afraid.
You can see after a moment of thought. However, you've yet to answer my question. Who are you?
Oh. She gives a little curtsy of her dress. Fenka Blatovich.
Fenka Vladovich. Yeah, he kind of ruminates on her name for a moment, like on his tongue, before the eyes are up and down, before just. So how will you be helping us today, Finka?
Oh, as lovely as that sounds, I'm actually here on a separate errand. And she looks over her shoulder to the stable hand, and she says in thieves can't, which Caro and what says you cannot understand, but Tuco, you speak fluently. In thieves can't, she says to the stable hand, I need a horse and cart and 5 barrels. She turns back to look at you and gives you a smile. Just here to make a delivery for my sister.
Oh, the fish.
Beg pardon?
Never mind.
She gives a bit of a shrug, and... Well, I have one more stop I have to make, but I hope I'll be seeing you all around. You look like you look like an interesting bunch.
Indeed.
Oh, we are.
Humble too.
She
Hardly.
flashes. She flashes a grin, and she turns to leave as the stable hand starts seeing to her request, but she kind of bumps slightly into the witch hunter, who scowls down at her, and she gives a kind of somewhat nervous looking smile and slinks around his side before scurrying down the road.
Well, she was easy on the eyes.
Vile pickpockets.
Like,
Right.
I assume she's pickpocketed her.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
the entire time, especially because it gave me like the Matrix vibes with the girl in the red dress.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it's the pretty ones you gotta watch out for.
Indeed.
So just so you're aware, there is a pretty one in our group. She doesn't swing your way, just letting you know
He's
now.
also crazy.
Oh
As far
god,
as-
don't waste your time with her.
As far as Tuco is concerned.
The elf maiden. The redhead.
Yeah.
Yep.
He kind of scratches his chin beneath the hood and shakes his head. Relax. I have more important things to focus on than such base pursuits, and more to the point, I'm not looking for anyone right now.
Oh.
At least not in that sense.
I
Yeah,
actually
fair enough.
is this guy? What does this guy look like again?
He appears to be a human man, long dark hair, dressed all in leathers. His armor is sleeveless, which shows off a tattoo on his right arm.
But like, would you say he's attractive?
Yeah, he's fairly attractive. His face is sporting a few scars, and his nose is a little bit swollen, as if somebody recently decked him in the face, and he's still recovering from it. But other than a few marks and scratches, he's a fairly attractive guy.
Funny, just imagining a mage just fucking flat out punching his nose. I cast fuck you.
What the fuck?
Yeah, after which Tuco would just kind of eye him up and down, just I'm.
He kind of quirks he quirks a brow slightly, and I haven't met anyone in a while who's caught my interest, I'm afraid.
I can't say much of the same, but I'm lucky enough to be blessed
You
with a
get to use
filter.
one of my new gifts.
He kind of glances to you, Tuco, and glancing over to What's-His and Caro, who are concluding their business with the stable hand, he turns his attention to you. I'm not exactly expecting a straight answer, let alone the truth, but understand that I'm well aware you are by no means bodyguards.
So there are some brain cells in there. So why are you tolerating us then?
I suspect if you don't have the answers I'm looking for, you'll at least lead me in the right direction. At the moment, I have a need for leads.
I see. Well, you're in luck, because we're in need of some as well. Stick with
To
us,
what
don't...
end?
Well, then, my friend, I suppose you'll just have to stick around and find out.
He gives you a kind of unreadable expression, and in fluent underling, he speaks to you. No one contracts a Slitherite for protection. Wherever you go, death follows.
Tuco actually straightens at that, like his tail kind of looks like his tail is like a little thing of like it scrunches up before straightening out again and kind of like you know, flicking about. And just, you're right. You know, it's not often most people, and he's saying this also in undercommon or underling. Just, it's not often many people acknowledge me for what I'm good for.
He gives you a smirk, and most people don't believe you exist, and for good reason.
Well, what I said before still stands. I'm following this party because... He kind of, again, just stares off and... Let's just say I'm representing a greater people.
Aren't we all?
You'd know all about that, wouldn't you?
He gives you a dark smirk, and as What's-His and Kara return, keep your blade pointed in the right direction, and I shall do the same. Verkin.
Oh, you're spicy. I like you.
He glances to What's-His and Caro as they return. I'm assuming you're ready to return to your compatriots now?
Ready as we'll ever be.
Were we supposed to wait for them here? I can't remember.
And What's-His, last you saw, they were at the tavern.
Well, I guess we're heading back to the tavern. Fancy a drink?
He holds up a gloved hand, and I prefer not to drink on the job. Afterwards,
well,
though, that's a different story.
Of course.
He kind of considers for a moment, but kind of gives you a nod. We'll see.
Oh, then off we go.
Lucian, Caleb, Zephyr, as you're having your conversation with Fenya Blatovich, as we left off on the last session, the party returns with the leather-clad witch hunter that you were told to avoid in tow.
Yeah, Lucian just kind of like looks at the Tabedra boys a little, with a little bit of alarm in her eyes. Not to freak you guys out, but isn't that the guy that we literally just were told to stay away from?
Fenya leans down to the three of you. That'd be the guy.
And it realizes
he-
somebody else is approaching. It's like, oh, motherfucker. It pulls his hood up.
Matthew, now that I see him, does he look familiar to me?
Make a history check. While that's happening, Tuco, Kara, What's-His, since you were not here the first time, you return to the tavern where you left your party members. You see that it is a small establishment, basically think of it as sort of a food truck style setup that's basically carved into a hollowed out tree. Most of the infrastructure here in Fuse is meant to be easily hidden from view in the event that a caravan passes by, both to shield them from patrols and to ensure that unsuspecting marks will wander straight into the center of the city without realizing it and not have a way out. Tuco, able to read Thieves' Cant, you see that the sign carved into the tree trunk facing away from the road is the Cub Club. You can see various Tabadran women are gathered outside, and currently running the stall and leaning down to Caleb, Zephyr, and Lucian and whispering something is the same woman you just spoke to, just wearing white instead of red.
Twins.
That's a 25.
It's a 25.
Yeah, 25. Lucian, you have indeed heard the tales, similar to what I mentioned to Govorits Mrtvik, a witch hunter who travels around, speaks to the dead to get answers on murders, and hunts down the spellcasters that performed the killings.
I imagine I'm just like sweating nervously at this point.
And he's being called necromancer.
Yeah. With that history check, would I like, I don't know how to phrase this.
Be fucked.
Would my father have talked about him, worked with him?
Your father did not work with him. His career has been a somewhat recent development. So your father, he wasn't actively adventuring when your father was operating, but you've just heard the stories yourself in your travels since your family's death.
Yeah, I'm sweating real nervously now. I'm just kind of wringing my hands. Maybe, I mean, I'm gonna look at the twin that's wearing white. Do you think that he knows if somebody is magical?
Fenya kind of gives you a bit of a shrug, looking kind of nervously between you and Govorits, and
I didn't mention that Caleb pulled his hood up, right?
yeah, you're good. She kind of glances between you and the witch hunter, and well, you're not dead yet. Let's hope that trend continues. Otherwise, I just wasted money on apparel.
Here's the thing. I was dead at one point. And also my family is kind of known for their magic and things. So I'm not sure what exactly I should do.
Well, good. We've established what you should not say to the man. And she pats you on the shoulder.
That's great.
Govorits steps forward to the three of you and kind of looks each of you over, kind of glancing to Fenya, who just gives him a wave. You're adventurers, I take it?
Something like that.
Mind telling me what your business here is?
Personal.
He glances to you, Lucian, and unbeknownst to you, the party having warned him about you specifically preemptively, he kind of glances you over before turning his gaze to Caleb, and...
I will notice, like, using his hood to hide his face.
Mm-hmm. Quite. And he turns to the three of you in the carriage. These are your compatriots, yes?
You can say that.
Yes.
Yeah, but this one cares about themselves. This one, I like him. And her, well, you see enough for yourself.
Lucian just kind of narrows her eyes at Gil.
Who's Gil?
Blesses, whatever.
Halfling, can you account for the presence of these three over the course of the last month or so?
More or less. They've been with me. Far, far away from here.
He kind of looks at you for a moment, and his expression is kind of hard to read, but after a moment he turns back to the three of you and... Very well. If the halfling vouches for you, then I see no need to interrogate further. But I suggest you not linger here. It's not safe. Until my investigation is complete, I suggest you move on.
Thank you for the tip. Thanks for the tip.
Yeah, wasn't planning on it, but alright.
He glances to Fenya, who kind of her eyes like dart around nervously. As you can, Tuco, you notice that a lot of the people in the bar around him are kind of deliberately avoiding him, whether it's the smell of blood, the visible weaponry, or the tattoo worshiping a god of death on his arm. He doesn't exactly seem to be popular.
Hey, I wonder. He's
So
how about that drink?
friendly.
Matthew, is there a way that I could, because, like, I'm wearing both of my amulets right now. Is he, like, straight up looking at me right now?
He's looking over you, Caleb and Zephyr, yeah.
Okay. I was just gonna say, like, maybe it would be, like, possible to just kind of, like, gooch the Marzana one, to be more visible.
Why do you want to be more visible?
Well, she wants to basically show off the goddess of death totem, even though it's not really questionable there. So,
Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea to show that right now.
Yeah.
Maybe
Okay,
not.
so I'll just stand there then.
Like, he already thinks we're good enough.
Yeah, just... Yeah, no, I'm just
you can do that.
standing.
You can do that and be like, hey, look at that.
Being inconspicuous.
Don't be
Incognito.
suspicious. Don't be
Don't
suspicious.
be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
It's like some people are like hiding themselves. Totally nothing suspicious.
Well,
Well, it's better
we're probably
than,
going to be moving
than
out
him
soon.
possibly recognizing him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really
Right.
surprised that maybe he doesn't recognize me, maybe. Kind of thankful for that.
It's nice.
Maybe he
We
does
was going to hand him 4 silver. Like, here's for that drink later on once you're off duty. We're probably not going to be in the area at that point.
He kind of looks down at the coins and, after a bit of consideration, just gives you a nod and stay out of trouble. And he turns and starts to walk away from the establishment, but he puts a hand on the carriage door near you, Tuco, and kind of looks to you. And an underling, he says under his breath, "An assassin gains nothing from this wanton death. So, if you vouch for them, I'll leave them be. Do not give me reason to regret that."
Tuco just kind of looks back to him, gives him a slow head nod, and he just said, and he very much just I might be a Slitherite, but I'm still an underling. Or rather, I'm still a halfling. I trust these people.
And this, he kind of gives a small, kind of humorless smile and kind of stares at you for a moment before turning his head and adjusting his hood on his head. He nods to all of you. "Good day. You may go about your business." And begins to walk away. The moment he's out of earshot, the white-clothed twin stretches, almost kind of lounging on the countertop, and I hate dealing with adventurers.
I
we
think I
still
saw
need to-
your sister earlier. What's with the barrels? Oh wait, I don't know about the barrels. My bad. Not my bad.
Well, she did
That was
say
a
she
thieves'
bought.
camp.
God, I love not
She
You
knowing.
just say she bought barrels.
Yeah, but I don't. Were we close enough?
Yeah,
to
that
avoid
was in Thieves' Cant, so Tuco knew it, but the rest of you don't.
Yeah, that's the
Oh,
thing, but
okay.
think
Yeah.
about
Caleb,
information.
Zephyr, and Lucian, you know.
Tuco will
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
you.
yeah. I'd say after a minute of just making sure that Guy is long gone. Lucian will catch up the others.
All right, Tuco,
There are other
you.
people in this establishment, right?
Yeah, but they're now that he's gone, they're just kind of going about their business.
Well, he seemed like a tough customer.
Tuco, you catch Caleb, Lucian, and Zephyr up on what your party encountered. The other three able to affirm that that was indeed Fenya's sister Fenka, and the other three catch you guys up on what you missed, informing you that the same enchantment that befell Caleb is spreading to affect other Tebadrins. This witch hunter has been called in to investigate. Although someone has already been pronounced guilty and hung for the crime, the witch hunter is just here to basically confirm that all the deaths can be traced back to him and that there's not a second party to this series of crimes.
Which there almost certainly is, but they don't want that to get out.
And the three of you who were not here last week are informed that the twins are Caleb's cousins, who have agreed to smuggle you into the capital of Tebadra via barrels, since Zephyr seems pretty confident that he and only he and his brother would be capable of sneaking in without extra help. And they've already been paid to do so and paid to do it quietly. And Tuco, as you affirm that you have indeed, you and What's-His affirm that you met her sister, she kind of gives a somewhat disappointed face and kind of pouts at all of you. Ah, damn. I was really hoping to go for the whole, oh, it was me the whole time gag. I knew we should have switched dresses this morning.
You're
I
fine.
would say the caller gives it off.
She gives a bit of a shrug, and kind of counts over all of you curiously before. The thought occurs. Caleb, you said that Fenka should order 5 barrels. I count 6 heads. 7 if
No
you count the
worries.
tiger.
Did Caleb
I
miscount?
can hide myself pretty well.
Did Caleb
And
miscount?
I'll,
Can y'all hear me?
I heard
Yeah,
Caleb,
again, a bunch of people are talking at once, so I'm letting you guys resolve it.
Caleb does something.
Caleb is like, did I miscount?
yeah, there are 6 of us, Caleb. But I have my trusty hat here, and he will turn into, let's see, who does he want to turn into? You know, for the fun of it, he's going to turn into Lucifer. Because nobody in this area would recognize him.
What's the
He's just another elf.
Lucian just has flashbacks.
Yeah, no, I imagine like as soon as he turns
One mic at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Too
it's
close.
there's like
Sorry.
a lot going on.
Jerry, you need to mute yourself while you're not talking.
Y'all too close.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, he turns into Lucifer.
All right. Tuco, since you haven't seen him before, What's-His doing a series of small motions and phrases. His appearance changes from the muscular, dark-haired elf to a much skinnier, lankier elf dressed in golds and reds with short-cropped red hair, the exact same tone and color as Lucian's, with a bestial claw mark across his face, one of the eyes appearing to be missing and replaced with an artificial one.
Why him?
I'm just gonna like stare.
Why would you? You could have turned into anyone but him, but you turned into him.
Because if we're going into the city, your father will recognize this and be more likely to let it through.
Your father? I don't think he has much
Yeah, but
control.
You do realize he's sick, right? Didn't I mention that?
Yeah, I mean he's
And
in.
plus, he's also
in-
not going to be personally standing at the gate.
Okay, then who do you suggest I should use for cover?
Anyone
know.
else?
Anyone else?
Can I? You know what? He's going to think about it for a second, and then he's going to do. He's going to use it again, and he's going to turn it into an old childhood friend of his they had back at the academy.
Okay.
So this one will look like a Gyogren.
All right. Her form, your form shifts again to resemble a young Gyogren, dark-haired light elf, and anyone else?
Zephyr will kind of look him over, almost just like, almost see his eyes just like narrow on him, just. But better than your other disguise.
Yeah, you
Fenya.
see Lucian visibly relax.
At least it wasn't fire.
Well, I'm not exactly loving the idea of being in a fish barrel either.
Then, you know, don't be
How
such a
else
loud creature.
Do you have another plan?
You know, y'all could always just leave us outside the city and just Zephyr and Caleb, you two could go in. Well, we can stay out in the woods outside the city.
Is it really wise to be splitting up with this stuff going on?
Yeah, I really don't think that we should split up the party. I think that it's important for us all to be
Especially because
together.
this isn't going to be quick. It's definitely going to take more than a day, probably.
By the sounds of it, my brother doesn't really have a plan, so who knows how long this will take.
I have a plan.
Oh,
It just needs... The plan right now is to get more information.
so you don't have a plan. Okay.
No, I have a plan to get more information, Zephyr. And
He has a
then-
plan to make a plan later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I am planning the plan.
And did they tell us that Q's dead, by the way?
Well, he's not dead. Caleb and Zephyr just mentioned that.
There he is. He got hanged.
Oh.
I thought he said the king. It was hard to tell.
Q.
Yeah, they informed that, Q was hanged and confirmed dead.
Well, listen. He can come back anytime.
I mean, necromancy, so technically.
I mean, yeah, that's why I said it.
Hey, Lucian, that's your cue.
Ooh.
Somebody throw him out for me.
I
I was gonna say, like,
I
wait,
could.
you're a
Oh,
necromancer.
I'm waiting for Austin to move me.
I
to
am a
another
necromancer. I
panel.
absolutely can
Wait,
animate
why
the dead
haven't
on
you
there.
been? I didn't even know you were.
Well, she had necromancy skills. There's a whole background story why she doesn't do it, type of thing.
Oh, okay.
And also, I mean, because clerics have access to all cleric spells, so all clerics have necromancy spells.
That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, she has
Any
the
cleric can be a
capability and-
necromancer.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll explain like the whole thing to you later.
So all
Bippity
clerics are
boppity
filthy
boo, I
necromancers.
cast resurrect you.
Yeah, I mean,
Later on, I can absolutely do that, but right now I do have animate dead prepared. So I'm
Yep.
just saying.
You have revivify too, but they have to be dead within a certain amount of time.
Yeah, you can't be revived unless you die within a certain amount of time.
There's another
I also
spell.
have Speak with the Dead.
There's another spell that like lowers like.
Okay,
increases the
I had
time.
this really stupid idea. Like, there's time magic, right, in D&D? How funny would it be if we reversed time on him and then raise him back?
Well, if I had not gone down the transmutation track as far as wizard goes, I could have gone down the other track where I could literally been a time wizard and maybe
That's
I could
cool.
turn back time, but because of the Ichor being, you know, an alchemy thing, I went to the transmutation route instead.
Yeah.
Neat.
All the different builds.
Basically, all
So what are we doing?
filthy necromancy.
Pretty much, I want to go buy another barrel. I want to take his body with us so we can study it.
I mean,
What
just
the
put it-
fuck?
I'm not
Hell
sure
yeah.
It's better than reanimating it than having the witch hunter see a dead guy walking around.
I'm not really sure much about the idea of bringing it with us, but you don't really need to go buy another barrel, I guess.
Just put him on display in like a gibbet cage.
All right. What's his? That's 2 gold
I
to
just
secure a
realized-
barrel.
Hang
Why
on,
are
let me
you
check
doing
the
this?
spells.
Because he has notorious evil plans that will probably either
God,
work really well.
Caleb, right now. I have a goddamn plan.
That's this party like 9 times out of 10.
What?
All right.
Can somebody go to my sheet and tell me if I was smart enough to prepare disguise self?
Let me see. Let me look. Is it rotten and covered with gook?
Well, obviously, because they're a filthy necromancer.
You did not, I'm afraid.
Ha ha.
They have other stuff.
Here's
Though.
my stupidness. I guess the fish barrel it is.
Yeah, you're getting in the fish barrel. Get in the fish barrel, Shinji!
Listen, I am not looking forward to the wisdom saves that I'm gonna have to make.
Why does this
It's
have
in the
to
fish
affect the
barrel.
wisdom?
Backstory stuff.
Oh.
She hasn't shared that with anyone in the party yet. This is gonna be a new kettle of fish.
If you need
Oh,
to
no.
acclimate, go ahead and get in the barrel now so you get used to it by the time we leave.
Speaking of that, when our
She just didn't look at Caleb like you're joking, right?
Yeah, you gotta shock therapy yourself into getting in the fish barrel.
Yes, you have to be prepared, Lucian. You have to be ready.
So when
I could have years of preparation, Caleb. It's still going to not be fun.
Oh, don't exaggerate. It'll be fine. I mean, I'm sure
The barrels we go.
Carol will be fine in the fish barrel, right, Carol?
Yes. I don't know about Geralt, though.
I mean, cats like fish.
She's not a cat.
Yeah.
And we don't have enough barrels.
He's a tiger.
For the lion. Or
They're
tiger.
related.
I need to go.
So, I guess I'm a.
I mean, they are.
I'm gonna look towards the twins.
Okay.
When do
Let's
you
go,
plan on?
let's go. Before I change my mind, let's go.
When do you plan on leaving? Right now?
Yeah, before
Fenya.
I change my mind, yes.
Fenya kind of raises an eyebrow, looking around at all of you, like arguing amongst yourselves, and well, the plan was to, yes, get you guys out tonight under cover of darkness. It'll be a bit of a trip,
Yeah.
but
Sounds good.
pardon? Yeah, all right. Fenka should be back with the
Before
barrel soon.
Lucian has a chance to start arguing.
Well, I mean,
Lucian just gives a thumbs up.
All right, she'll be back in a moment. What's is, if you want to get an extra barrel, that's 2 gold.
Yeah, I already
Isn't
subtracted
this
it,
just a barrel of laughs?
and then he will get in the cart and just sit there. Since we didn't have enough barrels for everyone, so he's going to be there under the guise of hired muscle to move the barrels.
Let's see, hang on.
Okay.
Yeah, enough barrels.
Caleb is going to use the barrel because if he's going to subject the others to this, he's going to subject himself to it.
Alright.
Aw.
So you bought 5 barrels.
Baby.
There's 4 of y'all.
Lucian is going to use a barrel. And I imagine
Yeah.
Gil's probably going to sneak in or try to.
Well,
Yeah, what's is
Zephyr's going
disguising
to
himself.
probably turn himself invisible. Caro is
Alright.
going to use a barrel. That's 3 barrels.
there's
right?
also Tuco.
Oh, Tuco.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
don't
to
know
be
if-
fair, they don't know that Tuca's with us.
I don't know. I've
But they're
mentioned
right
that.
there.
She's saying that they don't know she's part of the party, so she could easily walk in without much problem, without alerting any red flags. Because
Oh.
she's only a recent.
Pretty sure Tuco is a he.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Zephyr and What's is out of the cart. Zephyr stealthing. What's is disguising. Tuco, you are free to stay out of the barrels if you wish. Lucian, Caleb, Caro. Caro, do you wish to put Garrow in a barrel as well?
Hmm.
Can
Can he squeeze in with me?
Okay.
Can he
So
squeeze
that-
in with Caro?
It needs
It'll
to
be
be
a-
a shirt.
It'll be a squeeze.
Caro is small, and Caro has snacks on the way, because I think frogs will eat fish if they're big enough frogs.
All
Right.
right. And yeah, I'm pretty sure. And What's is, you want to stuff Q's body in one of the barrels?
What
Hey,
the
Matthew.
actual fuck?
Yes.
Do I have time to summon Mishka?
Yeah.
I thought we were going at night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I will take this time to summon Mishka, and I'll let him be in his cat form.
Okay. Summoning your
But
familiar.
yes, I am gonna put him in a barrel, but I'll try to do it so people don't see me putting him in a barrel.
The barbarian's gonna try to be stealthy.
I'm curious how you plan on doing this. Now, I'm out of just curiosity. What is your plan on grabbing the body from? Like, I think we didn't take the body with us from, like, I think the middle of town or something, right?
Yeah, he's gonna go to the middle of town, pick up the body, carry it all the way back here, stuff it into a barrel of fish. Also, rip
Anyone
Tuco.
order a dead guy in a fish barrel?
All right. What's is, make me a stealth check at disadvantage.
I feel like it should be
Can I
double
say that I
disadvantage.
Can I say I was going to do it at night
Also,
before we
rip-
left
Rip
when it's
Tuco.
darker?
And well, doing it at night is not gonna. You're dragging. You're dragging a body through the streets and then stuffing it into a barrel.
Now,
Like,
What the fuck?
and bear
guess-
in mind, this body was being hung before Zephyr and crew knocked it down. This body was being hung at the front gates of town. So
yeah,
you're
that's
literally
what it was,
dragging
yeah.
a body basically from Main Street through, even if you do it at night, just down the road and then stuffing it into a barrel.
I have only one reaction gift for this.
Oh, that's good.
For audio listeners, he posted that gif of Hell of a Boss Moxie laughing.
But
Oh my god, why are we doing this? Why are we taking the body?
well,
What's
that's-
has thoughts.
has planned, which I'm trying to think,
What is the plan, What's-his?
but I guess Zephyr doesn't want this all
I can
going.
even see Tuco just like, what the fuck? What the fuck, mate?
Zephyr will probably give him at least some advice. You have a bag of holding? I guess you'd stuff him in there. Would be less suspicious.
Can a bag of holding hold a whole body?
Absolutely, it can.
Yeah.
There's even mechanics for it.
Yeah.
You know,
At least it's less
Yeah.
dead, so you don't have to worry about oxygen.
Yeah, he's already dead.
yeah, so I guess he will shove him in the bag of holding for now.
I
Alright.
still feel like that'd be pretty hard to do stealthily.
No, yeah. Make me another stealth check, but
Just
You said disadvantage, right?
yeah. Make another stealth check at disadvantage. It'll be
Honestly,
easier.
I'm gonna have Tuco help out just because that's too fucking funny.
All right, make a stealth check flat.
Oh my god.
Okay, well, in that case, it's a 28, because I rolled a 19 first. Otherwise,
Okay.
it's going to be a 24
Okay.
with disadvantage. So,
Okay. As What's-His starts heading into town and at you guys' confusion about
This plan is killing me.
confusion about about confusion about What's-His heading into town to get a barrel, and he just calmly explains to all of you that it's to bring Q's body with us. When you all realize that you are not going to be able to talk him out of it, Zephyr, in an effort to not draw more attention to yourselves, you just tell him, just put it in a bag of holding. The barrel is completely unnecessary.
Oh,
And
I'm just saying, like, you could probably when you go steal the
Oh
body,
my
Oh,
fucking god.
motherfuck.
when you steal it, just stuff it in the bag of holding right there and then, so you don't have to drag it out.
We are
And-
town menaces.
Tuco, concerned about the potential risk of the massive hulking barbarian getting himself caught, you accompany him as night begins to fall to
What's his plans?
to the front gates of Fuse, where you see the bald, tattooed body of the former captain of the guard, and kind of looking around to make sure nobody's immediately watching.
Looking at that GIF they posted.
The fucking, like, the stiff as a board.
The two of you work quickly and stuff the former captain's body into a bag of holding, and closing the drawstring, the two of you scurry your way back to the Cup Club.
It's like we should stream this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like so much of the humor of the situation is being lost for the stream.
Oh.
Is there a way to stream chat?
Well, we'll negotiate that next week. We don't have time right now.
Oh my god. Oh.
Caleb, your cousins oversee the readying
Hang on,
of.
I gotta know what their look on their face whenever Gil was making his plan, or what's his.
Honestly, like, as What's-His and all of you start just casually discussing in the bar,
And
the
then what's
plan
his
to
just comes out with this.
your plan to deliver the body.
No, okay, Matthew.
Yes.
This is Wet's plan. Let's get that straight.
No. At this point, this is a group effort.
Caleb
No.
did nothing to assist this plan.
No.
I mean,
No.
you're helping, but
Yeah, you are
How is
helping.
Caleb helping?
no, not you. I'm
You
talking
don't have a
Tuco.
choice.
I thought Tuco's helping. You know,
Yeah, Tuco's more like hurriedly trying to get the body. Like, oh my god, if you're gonna feckin' do this, son of a bitch.
We don't have
Alright,
time
let's
for
have a
this.
fucking go. Alright, let's have a fucking go.
Wait. Am I there? Wait. Is Lucy in there too?
You're there while the discussion's happening.
Okay. While they're trying to be sneaky, how far away are they?
Wait, for like going into town?
Yeah, like,
are you
are
gonna
they
try
there?
to cast?
Like, I'm confused. Yeah, no. I was gonna like just give them a little guidance.
Oh.
Alright, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
What's his roll? What's his roll? A d4.
I feel like
Caleb
Lucian
just-
just like dissociated for like 20 minutes and then was like, huh? Oh yeah, guidance.
Hey, Caleb just says. Caleb just watches this and just says to his friends, "Who the? I can't believe I'm working with these people."
+3.
Be honest with you, Caleb.
Honestly, Tuco would look back to Kib and he's like, I can't believe it either.
I've long wondered what about my sanity.
Caleb just looks to his cousins. Maybe I should leave them out here.
We just
Should-
make a
should
new
we-
party. We exclude What's-his.
What's this? He's not the only one that.
You just like specifically leave without him.
Also, Caleb's cousins, whenever they hear this plan of
What are we even
Nani,
What are we even using the body for?
Research sounds like.
Research!
Yeah.
Research!
Yeah.
they're having a mental
Did Therese
breakdown.
Die?
They're having a mental breakdown right now. And you might need to
We're
call
like
them.
3 octaves.
Jesus.
Yeah.
They can't handle it, man. They're having a mental breakdown.
Yeah, not funny, haha.
I am
Funny.
coughing
Never
up
break
blood.
down.
I am in a place.
No, it's fair. It's fair. You're fine.
Yeah, just diet black and you know it. It could be like
Oh,
the rest of
no.
us.
No, stop. No.
What?
Oh,
You know, I was
No.
worried this morning that, like, oh, I hope I have enough content for this session. And it turns out all I needed to do to entertain you guys for like 2
put a
hours
dead body.
was put a dead body in a barrel and you all laugh at it like a bunch of fucking apes.
Whoa. This was not your part. Your
Oh,
part.
you acted like this. Let's be fair. This wasn't part of your plan.
You just put a dead body in front of us. We're like, ooh.
Yeah, I put a dead
Okay.
body and barrels, and you guys came to this conclusion, just like, all right, I'm gonna take 5. You guys have fun.
Matthew, you say that, but I know you're laughing over there. I know you're laughing.
Yeah, don't act like you're better than us, Matthew.
Oh, I don't have to act like it.
Ooh.
Oh.
Anyway,
It's cause you know he ain't.
so we still a dead body. Yeah.
Hey, Matthew,
Yeah,
you remember
no,
what
no.
you had for lunch
By the way.
I
today?
feel like there's a big reason for it, but like my brain is just out of order.
Mhm.
I'm gonna try and not cough anymore.
Like whenever your like side hurts from laughing and you just keep laughing.
What's his Tuco sneaking to the front gates, stuffing the body into a bag of holding, and working your way back. As you return, Caleb, your cousins are overseeing the actual smuggling plan. Most of the Cub Club has been cleared out, thankfully. And the cart lies in the center of the outside establishment, stacked with now 6 barrels. And Caleb, as you and Caro and Lucian prepare to just dive into the fish and hope for the best, you watch as What's-Is and Tuco return, and What's-Is just calmly opens a barrel, opens the bag of holding, and Q's dead body slurps out of it and into the barrel.
Lucy just kind of staring at it like, and then looks at Wuz's.
Fuck.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want that barrel?
No, but why?
I have plans. Don't you worry. I have plans, though.
No. There is no way. There is no way I'm not going to worry about it.
Get in the barrel with the dead body, Lucian. Come on.
So many concerns right now.
Fine.
I hope
You don't
everybody
worry about it.
recognizes
Worry about
this.
it
It
later.
won't help at all, but just do it.
I think of this meme anytime I start laughing.
Tuco, as What's-His packs up his prize, as mentioned, you are not in the same danger the rest of the party is, so for you, the fish barrel is optional. Do you wish to partake, or are you just going to join the
No.
caravan? Alright.
Oh no! You kidding me? What do you take me for?
Alright. Zephyr?
Yeah, we took you for a flounder.
What?
Who said that?
That was
What's-His?
Fucking. Okay, I'm gonna have to whip out this gif now. You motherfucker!
What's-His, Zephyr, and Tuco, you watch with amusement as Lucian, Caleb, and Caro, alongside Garrow, make themselves as tight and comfortable as they can in the barrels, and Fenya and Fenka bring along a large wicker basket full of these, like,
Isn't that the name?
kind of...
That's their nickname, right? Tree?
Yes. This wicker basket full of these kind of unpleasant smelling carp, which they promptly, approaching your barrel first, Caleb, your twin cousin smile down to you from the barrel's lid. 1, 2, and then dump the contents into the barrel. You are immediately squished on all sides, and you can actually feel the scales of the fish like cutting into the flesh of your hands slightly.
Caleb is just like, why do I have to suffer with other people? Why can't I just be like other nobility and let other people suffer for me?
What was that, KK? Yeah, I couldn't hear you. And they put the lid on the barrel and lodge it into place.
That's literally the only reason why Caleb is actually doing this is because he's making others do it.
Before they get to my barrel, I'll have Mishka kind of hanging out by my barrel.
All right, Lucian, ready?
And just go.
All right, and they upend another wicker basket of carp into your barrel, fill it to the brim, and then lodge the lid into place. Finally, they approach you, Caro.
I like you girls. You're hilarious.
Oh, thank you. We do our best.
Fish.
They look down to Caro and Garrow in the next barrel and kind of quirking their heads towards each other. Try to make sure your pet doesn't eat all the cargo, alright? It's going to be hard enough to explain why you guys are getting smuggled in, even harder to explain why we're smuggling a tiger.
It's okay. Don't worry about him.
Fuck off, tiger.
Yeah, they have a tiger.
They have like a tiger, a dragon.
Could you say
They
that
have
these people are in
raptors.
fact catfishing?
awful.
It's not catfish, though.
Fenya kind of kicks the barrel containing Kayla behind her. All right, incoming.
Bird
And
fishing.
pours.
I don't think there's anything fishy going on.
As Fenka pours Karo's fish into the barrel, the other twin leans down to your barrel, Caleb, and word of advice, if you want this trip to be a little less bumpy than it has to be, keep quiet. And she kind of knocks against the barrel.
There's no need to be cruel.
She sits on top of Caleb's barrel as her sister finishes packing up Karo's. All right, cousin Zeph.
I don't think he would even notice that.
No, yeah, he wouldn't. It's just more an observation. Cousin Zephyr, are you sure you don't want in? There's plenty for everyone. And Fenka kind of shakes the basket of fish.
Yeah, there's really no need for me to go in there, so...
Everybody knows where to meet up, right?
Meet up.
No.
Since we're going separate ways.
You failed to mention that.
Caleb will tell them to meet at the bear. What is it called? The bear or something?
The Bear's
Okay,
Lodge.
ask
The
around
Bear's
for the
Lodge.
Bears. They got it.
The Bear's Lodge. You can't miss it.
The twins kind of roll their eyes and we're going to deliver you right there. Relax.
Yeah, but there's others who are not taking the fish route.
Get in the fish barrel, Caleb.
But he's in
I
the
am
fish
in the
barrel.
fish barrel.
Yeah, he's in the fish
Get
barrel.
in there and be quiet.
Why don't you come in here and make me?
Honestly, at that, Tuka would just reach his hand in and like worm it down to flick him in
It's
the
closed.
head.
Yeah, open it up.
Yeah, he can pull it up and do it.
As
Okay,
Caleb and
okay.
Tuco begin to kind of squabble with each other, the twin hops off of Caleb's barrel and helps her sister just load up the rest of the barrels. And they kind of shuffle them around in such a way to where if they were to be searched, it's kind of like luck of the draw, whether it would be an actual barrel of fish or something else.
Yeah.
And what's is they kind of...
I was saying, did they get to my barrel yet?
Yeah, I was going to say,
I
and
don't
they
know
do
why
kind of...
he didn't keep the body in his bag of holding.
Alright, why not?
And they kind of curiously look to you, what's is, although they don't ask too many questions. Simply pouring the fish in, sealing it shut, and don't want to know, not being paid enough to know.
Wait, is there a body? Like he didn't put it in the bag of holding?
Well, he put
No,
it
He
in
put it in the bag of
holding.
holding to get it here, but then took it back out to put it in a barrel.
What the fuck?
I didn't expect to put it in the barrel. I thought we were just going to leave it in the bag of holding.
To be fair, we established multiple times you were putting it in the barrel.
You said
Well,
you
yeah,
were
so-
dumping it into the
I'm
barrel.
I'm going with it. I'm going with it.
Yeah, I was like, because you could easily state that there's not enough, or you want to save room for your whatever bag of holding. There's not infinite space.
What's his plans never fail to amaze. It's like, oh, electric fence? Let me whack it with a metal sword.
Oh, radioactive material that the scientist told me not to touch? Let me shove my plasma gloves into it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Don't forget the plasma-
a
the
underwater
plasma gloves
creature.
underwater.
Let me use my electric items underwater.
Well, it is plasma, but sure is. I would say at that point I didn't know that would happen. But then, of course, stuff. I mean, yeah, let's go.
Oh, we need to learn more about this mysterious thing. Let's smuggle a dead body.
Yeah, I mean that's how else are you gonna learn?
Honestly, you can make T-shirts out of this shit.
Gil's fucking
We'll add it to the list.
Gil's
Don't
fucking
worry,
plans.
there's a plan.
Yeah,
I have a plan.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a little bit more of a plan than Caleb does.
Oh no.
Oh.
You have an idea.
No, maybe he has a plan. It's just you just don't know the full plan.
It's like, where's...
To be fair, his plans has more steps than yours do.
Caleb has
you're
a plan,
right.
just awaiting information.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
step
like-
1, and then that's it. What's his? It's get dead body, put dead body in barrel. That's already
Well,
2
you know what
steps.
you know what they say. Work smarter, not harder.
Work harder, not smarter. In what's his case?
Yeah, it's like
As the-
more higher complexity does not mean better quality.
No, he's got more brain wrinkles than the rest of us. Don't judge.
I think that's just from the short circuiting.
Yeah, that's not wrinkles. That's like those marks you see on wood from being electrocuted. Like, need I remind you that he has robotic arms because he fucked his own
He
arms?
literally electrocuted and irradiated himself so much that he lost sensation in his arms and had to get prosthetics.
Yeah.
Honestly, what a king.
Well, general, but yes.
Well,
I guess
what kind of
now
ruler
he's
would
the
he
Winter
be
Soldier.
if
Get it?
he
Because
made
he's a
others
soldier
do
with
the dirty work
robotic
for him?
arms.
Hell yeah.
Or
You're right. You're a real you're a hero.
Yeah, he's the Winter Soldier now.
As the
Oh,
twins
great,
pack
the Winter Soldier.
As the twins pack the last of the barrels, they look to the 3 of you who remain outside of them, and... All right, for you lot, what's the plan exactly? We need to get our story straight.
Well,
I'm hiring
we're
most
delivering
of the help you.
Fishmongers. Obviously.
Fish don't talk, KK. And she kind of lightly kicks the barrel.
Are there talking fish?
A few, but not important.
Caleb's like, but there are
All
fish
right,
that
all
do."
right. So let me come up with a cover story for this. We're all bringing in fish. With the place falling ill, it'd be in our best interest to try and give some food out to bulk up the people that live here. So maybe they don't fall asleep so fast.
All right. That stands to reason enough, I suppose.
And
Cousin
before
Zephyr?
I can fall back on being a doctor.
And I'm hired muscle
I'm
to
going
move
to
the
tell Mishka to go over by Tuco and just kind of, do that cat thing, like where they like bump his head against like his leg, as if to say, "Me too."
That's
All right. Cousin Zephyr?
me. I was just gonna, sneak in. Simple.
Fenka kind of scratches the side of her head, but Fenya just gives a nod and... Understood. Just keep an eye out for the Bear's Lodge, or just follow the cart.
Mhm.
And what's is your bodyguard? That makes sense. These places are, and they both give kind of wicked grins. Not exactly safe to travel.
exactly,
wicked grin.
especially for pretty female elves. Who knows what might happen to you?
They're not elves.
You
No,
hear
I was
Mishka?
fairly sure that
growl.
I thought they were elves.
No.
They look like elves.
How could they be Caleb's cousin if they were elves?
Well, to be fair, that's not
They could be
impossible.
half elves.
Yeah, elves can be bred.
But the
Anyway,
two of
two
them,
pretty females.
kind of tilt their
The way
heads
they said
on-
that.
towards each other and give you a wide smile. Aw, and the big strong man's gonna protect us. How nice. Well, I guess we won't need these then. And as her sister hops up into the driver's seat, you can see the dagger she keeps in her shoes unsheath. Whereas Fenya kind of just leans back in the back of the cart and flicks her gloves as blades slide out of the wrist.
Yes,
Look at her
yes,
wrist.
girls, you're very strong. Now let's try. Let's try and get this plan over with already.
Hey, you're not the one who's going to be traveling with the fishes. All right, so we're just here to sell.
With them.
We're just here to sell fish to the hungry. You're a traveling doctor. You're a bodyguard, and you, she points to Zephyr. Who knows where you are? We have nothing to do with you. And she gives you a smile.
He is the wind.
Zephyr? Wouldn't know him.
All right.
I think Zephyr means wind, actually.
Well, sounds like we've got a plan. Everyone buckle up. It's going to be a long trip.
Alright, time for...
That's not that long. It's what, 3 hours at tops?
Oh,
Wasn't it?
God. Yeah, but in a fish barrel?
It's not in the barrel.
Yeah, you see Mishka just arches back a little.
Fenya offers her hand to What's-His and Tuco to help them into the cart, and seems to specifically guide What's-His to sit on top of Caleb's barrel and Tuco on top of Lucian's. Do you accept her seating arrangements?
Sure.
Yes.
Wait, who's sitting up there?
And I will absentmindedly drum my feet against the barrel.
And as soon as both of you are seated, Fenya leans back in the cart. Zephyr, how are you planning to travel? Just like on foot, in the cart? What are you doing?
He'll just follow up on foot.
Alright. As Fenka clicks the reins of the beasts of burden, Fenya gives the three of you outside the barrels a mischievous grin, and, oh, we did say 3 hours, didn't we, sister? Well, we were lying. It's going to be an overnight trip. Have fun!
You get used
Aw.
to it.
Dude, are you shitting me?
So
This
is Gil still, like, doing his
ridiculous,
legs?
man.
Still drumming his feet?
I assume so.
Is there a crack? Are there, like, gaps in the lid?
For about a minute.
Are there gaps in the lid?
Not any obvious ones, but if you insist, you can make one.
Really? Like, don't barrels usually have like little like gaps in between like the wood planks?
Honestly, yeah.
Well, yeah, but
honestly,
they're pretty thin.
Honestly, to help Lucian out, I'll have Tuco just kind of poke his tail into like her barrel to like if she wants to hold it for like comfort.
All right.
All right, Caleb's gonna. If Gil keeps
Right
doing
now,
that,
Lucian
Caleb's
is
going
both
to use a
blind
dagger to
and
poke him in the
deaf.
butt.
So,
Well, he tried.
well, I mean, she
Alright.
can see that he's doing it through Mishka. So,
It's
Lucian-
I said.
Yes, I did.
Just making sure.
I knew that's what you wanted to do the moment you asked if there were gaps. What's-His, you get daggers of complaint in your ass, but otherwise are unimpeded. Tuco, your offer of
I would
comfort...
have stopped after a minute.
Alright.
Uh,
Tuco, your offer of help for now goes unanswered, but Lucian channels her senses through her cat to quite literally dissociate herself from the situation. And
Alright.
Caro, you note after a bit of time, Garrow just starts kind of snacking on some of the fish that are piled around you.
Oh, to be a happy little frog girl.
I live a simple life.
Hell yes.
thing
God,
they're
her and
putting
Loom
on
would
Sunny
Loom
Fist.
would get on so well.
Alright.
Is there anything noteworthy you guys want to do over the course of a long rest?
It's gonna be a pretty difficult
I'm just
long rest.
gonna. Yeah. Do I need to make any saves?
Man.
Make me a wisdom save. We'll come back to you. Is there anything anyone wants to do over the rest?
Not
Just
really.
one small thing.
All right. Anyone else?
Caleb is going to become one with the fish, and he's gonna put on the manta ray hood.
All right. What is your small thing?
He's going to take out the race replacer and he's going to withdraw some of his blood
Oh.
and
Okay.
save it for the time being.
All right. You fill up a syringe of the race replacer with ichor blood.
Yeah.
The trip through the Sprintwood is largely uneventful.
Also, long rest.
Yes, you all get a long rest. trip-
Maybe.
The trip through the Sprintwood is largely uneventful. Caro, your beast companion, just happily lunches on the surrounding fish. Tuco, you just kind of monitor Lucian to keep an eye on her as you kind of hover around the barrel of fish she's confined within. Her cat just following you around.
I just noticed you keep putting emphasis on fish. Barrel of fish.
That's just how I talk.
I know, it's great. It's great.
Caleb, in an attempt to be more at one with your surroundings, you don the manta ray hood, and
That's incredible.
Zephyr, you follow on foot, largely nonplussed by everything.
Also, he can breathe air with the hood on, right?
Yeah, it just makes you able to breathe water if you need to.
It's not like one of those situations where you switch between breathing air and water.
No, that's only if you're playing a Lacantha.
Yeah, or like if it's cursed.
Mm-hmm. What's is you kind of with a wince drain some blood from yourself into the race replacer, and Lucian, wisdom save.
Not great. 6.
Rip Lucian.
Lucian, your mind, as you channel your senses through Mishk, your mind just becomes preoccupied, as even through Mishk, the scent of fish is pretty strong. Your mind becomes heavy laden with nostalgia as you reflect on your past, growing up in a small fishing village alongside your brother. The smell of fish from the butchery is always around you. And as you kind of fall into this nostalgic flashback, you fall completely silent in the barrel, sort of dead to the world in a sense as Tuco monitors you. Tuco, Lucian does not appear to be panicking, but does just kind of fall silent over the trip, and their familiar just continues to follow you around.
It's a miracle.
Hold on, I want to make my first note. Bring fish barrel to keep Lucian quiet. Okay.
Wow.
Wow!
Nah.
Holy shit!
My first notes are
I feel like
nicknames.
I feel like once you know the reason why, you
Zephyr won't give a
you
shit.
might feel guilty later.
Probably not. I'll be honest.
Does
This is
Zephyr feel
Zephyr.
guilty?
He'll do it regardless and multiply the fish.
Fish.
Your trip through the Sprintwood is largely uneventful, and the sisters thankfully show some mercy, and once they deem that you are well enough away from either of the cities, just kind of on the midpoint of the road, they bring the cart to a stop and allow those within the barrels to exit them, and start setting up camp for the night, allowing you guys to rest somewhat comfortably.
I assume.
I'm gonna have Lucian just kind of lay some blankets on the ground and just curl up into a ball.
All right. And Caleb?
I assume, like, Caleb's gonna ask when he gets there, but I assume, he's gonna ask if he can use it if it's there. The bear lodge has like a place to wash up, right?
Yeah.
Considering they were living out of it.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, Caleb's gonna need that, and I have a feeling Lucian will too. Arrow's already pretty slimy, so.
Yeah, they'll be all right.
But Garrow will probably need a clean. Need a rinse.
The body's also going to need to be cleaned as well.
Yeah, give Q a shower.
Gotta clean the body.
I'm also gonna have Mishka kind of curl up next to Lucian and just give Lucian some cat therapy.
All right. Disembarking from your smuggling venture, you all ready to camp for the night, making yourselves as comfortable as you can out in the Sprint Wood, knowing that pretty much around every tree is likely some thief or another out to make a quick buck. But the Bladovich sisters keep their weather eyes open, sitting back to back, flicking their respective blades, and just to kind of entertain themselves as they monitor the surroundings. And as you're all getting comfortable and readying for sleep, Fenya pipes up. We should be there by tomorrow morning. It's not going to be comfortable, but once you're in, we go our separate ways, and none of us saw each other.
I hope our...
Saw who?
That's the ticket.
I hope the lodge still has the place to wash up in.
Fenka kind of gives a bit of a shrug, and I guess you'll just have to find out. If need be, there's always the lake. And she gives you a grin.
With more fish. I'll probably be eaten by a predator, because I smell like fish.
If y'all would like, I'll take first watch. I don't need as much sleep as everyone else.
Go nuts, but Fenka and I are gonna be staying up anyway.
Up to you.
If there's nowhere to clean up, I do have prestidigitation, so at least we could clean up that way.
As you all make yourselves comfortable as you can and hunker down for the night, you all get a long rest.
Just out of curiosity, with the stench still on me, does it still like, do I still need to make some throws? Am I gonna have some nightmares? What's going on?
Well, let's find out. So yeah, everyone go ahead and mark on your character sheets that you got a long rest. Zephyr.
Oh.
You awaken and you feel cold. You look around and you find yourself in an unfamiliar village. There appears to be no one here. It's completely lifeless. But there's this kind of ambient creaking and slamming of something. You don't recognize this place, but as you look around, the total isolation, while comfortable for you, knowing you, is still slightly unnerving. Looking around, you see that be a farming village. You can see various crops and farms around. In the distance, straight ahead of you, across the square of the village from you, you can see a large, relatively well-off looking manor. And behind you, you can see what appear to be the front gates of this place, whatever it is. And beneath them, you can see a large wooden gate that's constantly in the cold wind blowing open and then slamming shut, creating that kind of sound that you've been hearing. Looking around, you're completely alone. What would you like to do?
Can I turn around?
Okay. Turning towards the gates as the gate continues to open and shut constantly. What do you do?
He's not sure where he's at or basically what's going on, so he's gonna try to proceed to like yeah, I figured it was that, but I'm just he's gonna be confused, but just like gonna try to proceed to like leave this town that he's unfamiliar with.
Okay. You walk towards the gate, the snow crunching beneath your paws, and you hold out your hand to keep the gate open as you pass over it. And now on the outskirts of the town, looking around, you find yourself surrounded on all sides by forest. A few stumps indicating that the town occasionally cuts trees from here, although you still see no sign of life. No animals, no people, no lumberjacks. And as you turn over your shoulder, you see written in proud letters over the gates. The letters are slightly faded, but with a squint through the kind of latent mist of the snow, you're able to make out what it says. Tebadra Farms.
Again, he's very confused. Honestly, he has no idea what's going on. So I know I guess we needed to go to Tebadra, so now that he's recognized that, I guess he'll look towards the manor and start proceeding that way.
Zephyr, as you start proceeding towards the manor, looking around, everything is just so empty and lifeless. There's no sounds or indications of life in this empty village. It's so odd seeing something that normally at least has some semblance of activity and gossip just being completely lifeless. The only sounds being your footsteps as you trudge through the snow and make your way towards the distant manor. As you approach, you give the door a push, and the door creaks open. Not even closed, let alone locked. Looking inside, you see what appears to be a foyer of this nice little home. A fireplace, long since turned to cinders, comfortable chairs, a large, nice-looking bookshelf, and sitting within one of those chairs, you see a humanoid figure.
A humanoid figure. I guess kind of keeping a wide berth, but he'll try to, I guess, get a look of who is sitting there.
As you kind of crane your neck carefully to look at the humanoid, you see what appears to be a gnomish man. His skin is taut. His head is covered in sores. He's wearing relatively humble-looking clothes, like what a peasant would wear. The face is gaunt and lifeless. And you recall the descriptions you heard of those who fell victim to the enchantment Caleb did. Covered in sores from being completely motionless. You see that there's a book laying open in the man's lap, and from the looks of things, he had been in the middle of reading, fell asleep, and never woke up.
I guess this does concern Zephyr a little bit. Trying to recall like what's going on. He's gonna start exploring. Like basically, is there any other pathways, like doorways, or is this?
You see that there is a set of stairs going upward and a door across the room from you, but you would have to cross by the man to get to them.
I guess I will. I will definitely very cautiously, go by them and try to go up the stairs.
As you carefully avoid the gnome and head towards the stairs, they let out a as you put your relatively light weight on them, and craning your head to look up the stairs, you can see that it goes up somewhere that you can't see, as your view is blocked by an unfamiliar figure. You see someone who appears at a glance humanoid from the waist up. Relatively kind of pale-ish skin, although it is tanned slightly. Their hair, though, is odd. It's this kind of orangish color and doesn't look like normal hair. It has this kind of oozy texture to it. Like it's an imitation of hair, but not quite the same. And from the waist down, you see a slurry of moving black tentacles.
I'm gonna proceed to leave. Like, get out of the manor. Just, get out. Just, nah.
As you turn, you feel a tentacle wrap around your waist and pull you backwards. And you begin to have this feeling like you're drowning. You hear a voice whisper in your ear, a voice that sounds gargled and blurry, as if speaking underwater and barely discernible common. As you hear this voice kind of mumble, sounding like it itself is gagging and drowning as it speaks to you. Nice dreams. You feel the tentacles wrap around your shoulder and begin to constrict around your necks as the voice continues to mumble nice dreams, but it sounds muffled and gurgled like it's underwater.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna ask. I was like, because I was like, maybe I didn't hear it fully, so I just play into that fully. It said something. It's, but no. Well, it has me as tentacles. Get out of here. Start. I guess I'm gonna go grab my parasol. Question mark.
You reach for your umbrella, and you see a clawed, ichor black hand wrap around your wrist and force it away. And this octopoid human flings you around to look you in the eyes as the tentacles continue to wrap around you, constricting your every limb and movement, as it gives you a wide smile. Not even seeming intently maniacal, more the smile of someone who's just kind of lazily helping someone. The kind of smile you give them whenever they're thanking you for something that you don't mind doing. And as the tentacle wraps around your neck and you begin to suffocate, the creature smiles, and you can see its teeth are sharpened in such a way to where it almost forms a natural beak shape in its mouth as it gives you a smile. And you dream well. Sleep, sleep. And the hand runs over your eyes as you begin to drown. The rest of you.
Yeah.
I was just saying, since Gil was keeping watch, would he have seen Zephyr having any effects?
As far as you saw, Zephyr just went to sleep.
But he would have noticed if Zephyr wasn't moving in his sleep, right?
Well, man, does Zephyr ever
Do
move
you
in his sleep?
normally study how
watch.
Zephyr sleeps?
Yeah.
That's
He's kept watch so many times.
Like,
He would notice that something
Gil
was
is just
different.
breathing softly into his ear.
Yeah, instead, where is Zephyr exactly?
I would say he would probably sleep on the top of the carriage like normal.
Okay, so I'll say,
Why do they have any
One-
reason to suspect anything is wrong?
yeah,
Yeah,
well, I'll just say
let's
one-
just leave it be. Let's leave it be for now.
No. I mean, Lucian would do this anyway, because, just force of habit. Just once she gets up to just, count heads, make sure
Count
everything's
heads.
okay. Yeah.
Are we all waking up?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, Lucian
As
would
you-
do that anyway, because, danger.
As you all awaken, elves, as mentioned, the Blodovich sisters did not sleep a wink, seeming worried about befalling under the curse that pursues Tebadrins.
Yeah.
But as the night passes, with thankfully no incident, if there were bandits in the forest, they seem wise enough to choose their fights a bit better. And you all begin to awaken, refreshed after a night's sleep in the forest. It still smells faintly of fish, and you've had better sleeps, but it could have been worse. Lucian, you do a quick head count. Everyone appears accounted for. Zephyr and Caleb are sleeping in, but that's to be expected.
Okay. I'll give them a good 15, 20 minutes before trying to wake them up.
Okay. Anything noteworthy from any of you over the course of the rest of the trip?
Well,
No,
Okay.
not really.
All right. Lucian, as your caravan packs up and those who have to be smuggled get back into the barrels, you take the moment to gently rouse Caleb, who wakes up with no fight.
I imagine they just fucking kick Zephyr.
No, she's nice enough to just kind of try to, shake his shoulder.
As you shake Zephyr's shoulder, he doesn't respond.
Oh, does Tuco see this?
Does this give me the same vibe that happened with Caleb?
Make a perception check.
Okay.
Does Tuco see this?
Like
Yeah.
my regular.
Yeah, I was gonna say honestly, Tuco's little eyes would kind of narrow as he's like,
Come on, roll for me. Thank you. Okay. What is my plus?
Oh god.
So 25. Sorry, couldn't count.
No worries. Tuco, you kind of concerned whenever you notice Lucian's brow furrows as Zephyr doesn't rouse immediately. Tuco, you watch in suspicion and concern as Lucian's attempts become a little more hurried. The Blodovich sisters kind of look up curiously. Lucian, as you look Zephyr over, you do recall, as correct me if I'm wrong, you usually go to sleep, or rather, you usually take the first watch and Lucian takes the second. Am I wrong?
No, usually it's the other way around, because Lucian wants
Yeah,
to use
usually
her
it's the other
spells.
way around.
Alright. So, Lucian, you know that Zephyr is often a somewhat fitful sleeper, but he does tend to be one of the early ones to wake. And as you kind of shake him a bit more urgently, he still doesn't give a response. And you know Zephyr would not let anyone touch him without a dagger to their throat.
Right. I'm going to. I don't want to hurt him, so I'm just gonna send a little jolt. Let's see. Does
lightly
prestidigitation?
stomp his boots.
No. I'm trying to see if
Lightly,
prestidigitation does
firmly grasp it.
yeah. Okay. It says that I could do a harmless, like shower of sparks. So could I just give him a little jolt of electricity to try to get him to wake up?
Are you taking your action to rouse your compatriot?
I am.
Lucian, as you conjure a shower of sparks, it, again, is harmless by description, but yeah, I'll allow that it does create like a light, like kind of joy buzzer buzz. Zephyr?
I was thinking more like static electricity.
I mean, same difference.
You give him the trick gum.
Yeah. And Zephyr, as your breath continues to escape you, this octopodal creature crooning over how sweet your dreams will be and how they want you to sleep, you feel this jolt run up your body. The air almost forcibly enters your lungs as you suffocate. And you wake up.
Okay. I'm gonna grab my parasol and
So,
immediately point it toward Lucian.
This sleeping sickness, if people can get jolted awake, is nobody doing that for them?
Yeah.
This was mentioned in the last session. The reason people are dying from it is because basically they don't know. Like, basically, think of it this way: unless you were best friends with that person, how long would it take you to think something was up if you just didn't hear from them for a couple days, especially in this time period? And then by the time they send someone to check on them, they've already died in their sleep.
Lucian's just gonna kind of, she'll put her hands up in that surrendering motion and just be like, "I'm sorry that I did that, but you weren't responding, and I just wanted to make sure you were okay."
Hey Zephyr, you had it too, didn't you?
Trying to think of what you mentioned, I guess. I don't know.
Is there a village and then a big house?
It was a location. I saw Tabedra in the name. It was, frankly, it's a little fuzzy.
Yeah, Tuco would kneel by his side at this point. Just, is there anything in particular you could describe?
Yeah. If you can remember anything at all, that would be extremely helpful.
I'm not really sure how I feel about being, sounds like I'm gonna be one of your little experiments, but mostly I just remember, just as my brother described, there's a big building, something about Tebedra, well, there is what seemed to be sleeping man, and then a creature. That's about much as I can tell you.
Caleb, did you see a creature?
All I remember was that there is a village in a big place, and then I woke up.
Sounds like you had the right idea to not investigate further in the dreamland.
I don't know, part of me kind of wishes I did. Maybe something
To be
could have
honest,
been
me
learned.
too.
You too?
I mean, I wish that
Well,
we
maybe you
had.
can have the dream, and then you can do it yourself.
My
Well,
dreams usually
Well, the problem is,
have.
the problem is, Caleb, who would wake Lucine up?
Probably
She's
one of
still
us, and we notice they're not waking up.
I don't know.
Lucian's usually very punctual. Can it even affect an elf? Do elves actually sleep?
Technically, no.
Do elves have dreams?
Yes.
Well, then it might still affect you.
Depends on its work. I mean, it can't be put to sleep, but mostly it's just difficult. Anyway.
Regardless, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna move away from Zephyr. Regardless, he is alive. That's what matters. And
Hey,
I'm
that's two
going
people
away.
that have made it through this dream. See, the statistics are getting better, cousins.
The two of them kind of just kind of are furrowing their brows and looking to each other, and they kind of mumbled something to each other before Fenka looks to all of you again and
Are you hiding something from me?
we're hiding lots of things from you, Caleb, but that's beside the point.
Probably not as many things as you think.
Yeah, about twice that. But Zephyr, this creature, did you see what it looked like?
I mean, the only thing I remember, other than the feeling of drowning, unpleasant. But I mean, it had tentacles. That's about it.
The two of them kind of nod as if they were expecting that, and that's the same thing Q said.
You saw it too. Is that why you got accused?
The two of them give a nod, and we found him, not my sister and I, but the guards found him next to his wife. She was still asleep, but he was just babbling nonsense. We didn't have any suspects, so Torque immediately had him hanged. But before the rope dropped, he just kept talking about nightmares, the feeling of drowning and tentacles.
Oh yeah, I
Can
saw
you
that
tell me
too.
exactly what they? Can you tell me exactly what he was saying?
The two of them kind of look to each other, and Fenya kind of looks to you, Caleb. What was that, cousin?
I saw those too. I'm not gonna lie, I thought I was having a very weird dream at first, but then I realized it was something different than what I expected.
Fenka kind of sticks her tongue out and crosses her eyes in a disgusted expression, but Fenya looks to the rest of you and kind of crossing her arms under her chest. He said at least from what we can remember, like I said, a lot of it was nonsense, but he just said that it was just endless nightmares, and some kind of tentacled beast was chasing him, and that every time it touched him, he felt like he was drowning.
Do you think this is connected to the Ica?
The two.
Did we tell them about it?
You've mentioned it in passing in front of them, but the two of them just kind of looked to each other, and
I don't think they would know anything about that.
but you all would know better than any of us.
I mean, I'm not really seeing a pattern except mostly Tabedra people are having these nightmares, correct?
Yeah, at least we haven't heard of any non-Tabadrians getting it. Oh, speaking of, Zephyr, you said that the place had Tabedra in the name. Can you remember anything else?
He tries to like recall. I mean, not much. It was just I remember Topedra, and there was a gate, sort, and yeah, like a big building, like the brother said.
A manor?
Does Tabedra have a gate?
Well, there's gates everywhere, but you wouldn't be talking about...
I was asking out of character.
Oh, yes.
Because Caleb would know that.
Yeah, yes, Tabedra has gates everywhere.
Was it the front... Was it one of the entrance gates?
I mean, it seemed like an entrance gate. Yeah, but you were saying?
Sorry, I was just gonna ask. You wouldn't be talking about Tabedra Farms, would you?
I mean, as you say that, it does. I feel like maybe. I mean, it's frankly.
Does Caleb know what Tabedra Farms is?
Make a history check.
History check. History. I got
Can I make one too, since I'm very good at history?
You go ahead, but make yours with disadvantage.
I got an 18.
Alright, 18 for Caleb.
So you said disadvantage?
Yes.
18.
Both of you are familiar with the place. Caleb, you've never been there, but it is considered by many to be the birthplace of the Kingdom of Tabedra. While Rosewick was their first conquest, Tabedra Farms, as the name implies, was the birthplace of the king and queen. This isn't talked about by the common folk too much. Only those who live to see it speak of it. You yourself didn't really find out about it until you lived with the man, but before he was the king of thieves, Tabedra, your adopted father, as well as Zephyr's, was a humble peasant farmer. In fact, he wasn't even a Tabedran by birth. Fact of the matter being, it was his future wife who was the first Tabedran. A local ruling family of the Wyson Sardom who owned the land. Lucian, you recall Tabedra Farms just being a kind of isolated and unremarkable farming village. It was kind of on the outskirts of all other territories, so they were mostly left to fend for themselves. In fact, many people actually said it was really only a matter of time before they became something of a city-state. At least, in a more forgiving world, that would have been the case. In this day and age, being on your own means you get attacked. They were subject to frequent bandit raids, ironically, as well as raids from rival kingdoms. And between that and monster attacks, as well as rumors of a nearby demon god living in a lake, eventually the village, straining under constant attack, never able to build themselves up more than what they were, and not getting a fraction of the wealth the rest of the Sardom was getting, eventually the population snapped. The village simply disappeared one day, and later the conquest of Rosewick happened, and the king and queen never spoke of the village again. Caleb, they never told you what happened that day. All they told you is that you were to never travel in the eastern forests. That the only thing your father ever told you when you asked for elaboration was that he's still paying off some debts, and he does not intend to offer you up as collateral just yet.
Just yet.
Lucian, all you know is that Tebedra Farms, again, a humble farming village on the outskirts of the Weissensardom, disappeared one day, and the Kingdom of Tebedra popped up afterwards. Obviously, making the connection isn't exactly an act of genius, but the royals never spoke about their peasant origins or what happened that day when the village disappeared. Nobody who has gone to investigate what happened has ever returned.
Does it fall within the now borders of Tebedra, or is it still within the Zardom?
It's on the outskirts of the Tebedra territories, although the Weissensardom claims it, but it does basically, while it's a disputed territory between the two kingdoms, it doesn't really matter who claims to own it, given that nobody who's gone to it has ever come back.
So even the other kingdoms avoid this area.
Yeah, although not for lack of trying.
So, how long has it been since Tebedra was formed?
It's not been too long. About a little under a decade.
So about 10 years?
Yeah, like in that ballpark.
So when Caleb was born, Tebedra didn't even exist yet.
Mm-hmm. Again, many modern Tebedrans were alive before Tebedra was a kingdom. But again, those who remember who the king and queen used to be are told never to speak of it. Even Caleb's parents never spoke about what the king did that day, if they themselves even know.
What does Gil know about demons
Make a religion check.
that make deals?
Yeah, being a cleric, can I make one too?
Make a religion check.
Make a religion check. Can I do it?
Go for it.
No, I was joking.
Oh, okay.
I was making a joke. Oh, can I do it? Make a religion check.
And
Oh,
they're seeing
I
what
know.
they know about demons.
Yeah.
Daemons. Like somebody asked the DM, oh, I'm this class.
I got a
should know this.
25.
Okay.
I'm this class. I should know this.
16.
Make a religion check.
Okay. You know some of the basic information about demons. They're a very varied race coming from the land of the dead that occasionally travel up to the surface world of the living to make deals, occasionally lay with mortals, and pursue their own mysterious ends. Demons in Yav tend to be very unpredictable. Some are the classic, steal babies out of cradles, take your soul, whatever suits their interest. Others can be a bit more malleable. Lucian, you're, again, a bit more aware. You know that no demon is truly the barbaric beast they're often portrayed as. Almost all demons, at least from this dimension, tend to be rather negotiable if you know what they want and are willing to talk. Most simply don't. You do know, however, that more animalistic demonic entities can come from the land of torment. Creatures of living pain and suffering that just animalistically seek to spread those facets. However, Lucian, I'm assuming this question is brought about by the mention of the demonic god living in the area.
Okay.
No, I'm asking you if that was why.
But yeah, that's what uh, triggered my curiosity. The fact that the Debater's only been around for 10 years.
Yeah,
That's the usual time frame
yeah,
for a deal.
it's a very coincidental time frame.
Lucian, if you're asking for elaboration on the specific god that lives in the area, it's actually not too far from you. In a lake of black, down south from where you are right now, you could just walk there from where you're currently standing, is said to live an ancient demonic god. Known by many names, you knew it simply as Eat. Named as such because, according to the legends you've heard, the god was cursed after its participation in the Titanomachy of the First and Second Age. It was cursed by the gods who emerged victorious as penalty for rising against them to always feel an endless, unceasing hunger. Its name was stricken from history, so given that all that's known about it is its hunger, it became known as simply Eat. This god, this angel, this demon, lives in one of the lakes of Tebedra, turning it pitch black with its presence. And any who enter that lake, any who drink from it, are poisoned by the demon's influence. Their tongues are stained dark blue to permanently mark them as a camper. They are taken over by the demon and possessed, and seek to spread, telling others to go to the lake, to drink from it, to swim in it, to take Eat into themselves. Supposedly, according to the stories you've heard, Eat does this because it's trying to absorb knowledge, specifically the knowledge of how to remove its curse.
Would there be any stories on what Eat looks like?
Eat does not have a form that's comprehensible to mortals. However, you have heard stories of a great serpent living in the lake, made purely of ink and water.
Ink.
Yes, ink.
Yep, that's exactly where my mind went. Lucian's just gonna kind of take a visible step back as
Does Caleb know any
she
legends about
draws
that
her
lake?
conclusions.
Influence
Which
human
way
curses,
from where I am, where I'm standing, because I would know this because of keen mind, would the god be fabled to live?
Well, Keen Mind wouldn't tell you that, but
I mean, I
It
would
tells you
know.
the
I would
direction.
know like the direction.
yes,
Like, south, east, west.
You knew where it was, basically. Yeah.
yeah. Hang on, let me add my map here.
Sorry, it was not
Does
clear.
Lucian share with the class?
Oh, she will. Just give her a minute.
Not yet.
You know, from your current location, it is about half a day's journey southeast.
So pretty close.
She's gonna look at the group. So there's good news and not so good news. I think I know what we're dealing with here, but I'm not entirely sure if... I mean, I guess anything's possible at this point, but I'm gonna look at the twins. Do you know of the god Eat?
Caleb, what were you going to say before I respond?
Caleb was basically, if Lucian mentioned the lake, does Caleb know the story of the lake? Because you said it's stained black.
And yes, yeah, once Lucian drops the name Eat, you've heard this story. A lake to the south that all Tebadrins usually know to avoid. However, it's not unheard of for Tebadrins to deliberately lure people towards it, and in exchange for basically feeding them sacrifices, Eat will freely turn over the wealth and valuables of their new host, as they have little need of it.
It's a fancy way to rob them.
I'm guessing that as a kid, Caleb was told by his parents to avoid that lake.
Yes, this lake is why you and other Tebadrins typically don't interact with water too much. Rosewick and Fuse are kind of deep inland. Tebadra Farms was the closest to the coast, but again, nobody can go there anymore. And other than a scant few rivers that cross your territory, the only major body of water is that lake. And Tebadrins know to let Eat lie.
Where does Tebadra's water supply come from?
From those rivers.
So they avoid the lake altogether.
Yeah, because to drink from it, to consume from it, or to swim in it is to take Eat into yourself, to become a camper.
Yeah, become one of its minions.
Um,
I'm guessing they probably
Barrels.
take great steps to keep the lake water isolated from their drinking water.
Well, something occurs to me, and I don't know. Maybe you guys would know. I turn to the twins. Have the situation with the water supply changed any?
And real quick, before I go on, Caleb, to answer your question, yes. In fact, part of the god's curse on Eat was that the lake would never touch the ocean. Otherwise, Eat would be able to spread and cover the entire world.
And I'm guessing the Tebadrians go to a lot of lengths to keep it from touching their rivers.
Yeah. And Lucian, whenever you mention Eat, both of the Bladovich sisters kind of furrow their brows and kind of shift around uncomfortably and actually look around almost like they're half expecting campers to be hiding in the trees. Don't speak its name here. We're too close. What could you want with the Aquatarchus?
Well, my question remains. Has there been a change to the water supply here?
No, we harvest water from the rivers.
Plus,
By order of the king.
And Tebadrians take great effort to keep our rivers separate from that water.
Plus, it wouldn't
Well-
mean the fact that I would get affected, right?
Well, you drink the water in Tebadra, right? Well, Zephyr just went an entire part of his life without drinking water.
Stick out your tongues.
Caleb does so in a just kind of going.
You're fine. Zephyr?
He'll kind of hesitantly do it,
Just
yeah.
do it like a snake. You know how a snake does. So,
You're alright, cousin. Neither of you are campers.
and none of the bodies had the signs of it.
No. Bed sores, but little else. We know what a camper looks like. We don't even let them in our cities more often than not. Just turn them out to the Confederacy or to the Tsardom.
And I'm sure they don't even let them in their cities.
The both of them give
You
a
guys
smirk.
were gonna hate me. Lucian's just gonna, as everybody talks, Lucian is gonna go to the barrel where Q is, and I'm gonna check his tongue.
His rotten tongue.
Lucian, as you open the barrel, you see Q's body has indeed begun to decompose a little bit. Being surrounded by fish likely isn't helping, but you, not being fairly comfortable with dead bodies, pull on his tongue from his jaw, and his tongue is a kind of gangrenous color, but otherwise not unusual. It does not
Basically,
sport
if
the...
If it wasn't rotting, it would be the normal color.
Yeah, it does not sport the, from what you've heard, noticeable blue that campers tend to sport. Do you think the Epping Aquatarchus is involved in this?
Well, I think we did say it would take a very powerful magic to make someone fall asleep and die.
But
We had a long rest, right?
yes.
Okay. I'm gonna cast Gentle Repose on Q.
All right. What does that do?
Lucian mentioned everything
Basically
she.
Well, it basically preserves the body.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it allows you to like extend the time on certain spells. Like,
All right. So for 10 days, Q's body will not rot.
But so Lucian mentioned that the demon god is always hungry, right?
Yeah,
Like she mentioned that, everyone.
like if what's his asks her, she'll tell him everything that she knows.
well, Zephyr's gonna
Well,
do
In a
it.
very Lucian, long-winded,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
lecture-like way.
As I was about to say, Zephyr was gonna go back to laying down because he knew this is gonna be
Yeah, no, she has like a
Lucian.
full-on lecture about this guy.
he knew
Hey,
this was gonna
Lucian,
be
we
a
don't
long-
have all day. We need to get to Debaja, but
Regardless, I'm not necessarily believing in coincidences, Caleb, but don't you think it's a little, and I mean this in the most ironic way, fishy? I mean,
it
besides
does.
us, just kind
It
of
does seem to
stinks,
be some-
doesn't it?
Does she share like? It is described as a demon in its descriptions, right, Matthew?
Yes, basically it is. Well, calling it a demon in the traditional sense is a little misleading, but basically it is a former god that was struck down by the gods after the Titanomachy to be just a nameless deity that roams the planet, devoid of worshippers and mostly devoid of power. Basically just suffering for eternity as a testament to the god's victory. But in function, yes, it is effectively a demon.
Did Zephyr describe seeing a gnome
No,
in
he
his
just said
dream?
nope.
He just said some guy.
Yeah, some guy that looks like he was sleeping type of thing. Like,
Zephyr, can you think of any kind of description for the sleeping guy?
I mean, sleeping, looked pretty much dead. I mean, what descriptions do you need?
Was he a human, an elf, a orc? You know, any kind of creature? Was he tall or short?
Yeah, I don't remember now.
I just find it a bit strange.
Could it be theorized that since this god is always hungry, that it switched to feeding off of fear and from the nightmares that it causes?
You can certainly theorize that.
I mean, runs also the question still, how do we, unless this was already been here since, ever, why hasn't it been why is it a recent thing that, not something...
I guess what's something that's coming up?
Well, like Caleb said, maybe it has some kind of connection with the Ichor. Because, the Ichor has, we all have this, like, black Ichor bullshit.
Then what about
So,
Q?
I mean...
Caleb was gonna ask.
I'm
his
going to.
cousins.
Okay, is Q. Okay, I'm gonna grab Q's arm and I'm gonna, like, with my longsword, just kind of slice his arm.
All right, while you're doing that, Caleb.
Caleb was gonna ask his cousins. Is there anything that coincided with the beginning of it? Anything that's coming up?
The two of them glance to each other and shrug. It's like we told you, the king came back from that disaster of a ball, and then people started dropping like flies. The king got sick around the same time. Those of us who know about it, just
Yeah.
figure that maybe whatever he's got is spreading.
Maybe. Out of curiosity, I'm sometimes fuzzy on these details. You know, back in those days I was little. Exactly how long has Tabadra existed? You know, I don't remember much in those days. I was just a little small.
The two of them kind of roll their head side to side, and that's a tough question. But I guess if you mean when did from becoming an actual, and she kind of rolls her hand.
Basically,
And
whenever we took Roswick, I think most can agree that's a good date to start with.
and they kind of look to each other. It's been about 10 years now, hasn't it? Yeah, maybe 10, 11, somewhere in that ballpark.
That can't be a coincidence.
It is a perfect number, you have to admit.
Well, think about it.
Maybe somebody made a deal with the demon, and now it's come to take its toll.
Well, what I find interesting is that both Wasis and I. Well, Wasis was dead for what, 10 years? And then I only have like 5 years of my memory. And I just find it odd.
I mean, if we're just throwing ideas out there, maybe someone made a deal. Repeating his line.
Well, we still don't know a whole lot about this lady.
Yes.
What lady?
The lady in white.
What does she have to do with anything?
She is the one. She's the head of the snake.
The snake?
Okay, yes, she is like the head of the Scar Concord, but we have no actual proof of their involvement.
Yes, we do. We have plenty of proof of her involvement. Also, we also know
Of their
that
involvement in this situation.
Well, I mean, think about it. Your king is in the Concord and has been working with the lady, so it doesn't stand to reason that there might be some kind of connection here.
I'm not saying that there can't be some kind of connection. I'm just saying we don't have any proof of it at this moment. So anything is possible. We need more information.
The twins look around, seeming kind of uncomfortable, and they kind of grasp each other's hands and mutter to each other in thieves' cant, and look to all of you. Let's get behind the walls before we talk about this anymore. I don't like talking about the Aquatarchus this close to the lake.
I have to get back in the barrel.
Are you afraid?
Yes, you do. Go.
Are you afraid of a camper coming out of the woods?
The two of them look to you, Caleb, with their faces just kind of flat, and don't even joke about that.
Has Caleb ever, out of curiosity, has Caleb ever seen one of the so-called campers?
Not in person, but you've heard stories. Soaking wet, skin tinged blue like they were drowned. When they bleed black.
Oh.
And
I do
all
have
of
to
them are
admit-
connected to the Aquatarchus in their minds. All of them are an extension of Eat, the same way your fingers are an extension of you.
Caleb is like, I do have to admit, I wouldn't be surprised if we did wind up finding evidence connecting the two. But at the moment, we just don't have it, so... We need to... there's been plenty of times where we thought things were one way and we found out it was another. So we need to try and find more information on this. Adding that to the plan. The plan now also includes that we are going to, at some point, have to get more information on this.
I thought the plan already was get information.
Well, yes, that was to get a different kind of information.
So
Now
your
we
plan
have
is
an-
get information twice?
No, it's get information on one problem, hopefully deal with that problem, and then come around to the other problem. Gotta take things one at a time. One can get too overwhelmed if you try to deal
So-
with too much at once.
So basically, what he's saying is yes.
I don't like this. Everyone back into the barrels. Dad'll know what to do.
There's a very, very audible groan from Lucian.
As you all take your positions in the smuggling cart, Zephyr just kind of lounging comfortably on the ceiling of the carriage. That same sense that Caleb had, that despite a good sleep, you feel exhausted. As you look up in the sky, you see that the sky is this kind of yellowing color. Given how relatively early it is, it's likely that there's a storm on the horizon. And you kind of squint as you notice cravens, essentially vultures in this setting. Cravens are circling in the air in the distance where you know Rosewick to be.
Did we see that before we get into the barrels?
Yes.
Oh dear. That's
look
not
up.
a good sign, pointing at the cravens flying around.
Yeah, I kind of follow his gaze and just, but I'm not dead yet.
Zephyr, anything with those observations?
Nope.
Did Caleb's cousins react to him pointing to the birds?
They kind of glance up and kind of frown and look to each other before turning over their shoulders. Cravens live around here. It's nothing to worry about. At least I hope
But
not.
usually when they're circling like that,
Caleb. Not now.
is that from the people who never woke up?
We don't know. From what all of you are talking about with ladies in white and the Aquatarchus, there's a lot going on we don't understand. Fenka puts a hand on her sister's shoulder and let's get to Daddy. He'll know what to do.
Alright, I'm ready to be shut in with the fish.
All right. Everyone be careful. If there really is campers about, the guards are going to be on high alert. Just eyes forward, people in the barrels stay quiet, and try not to look too blue.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have Mishka hang out.
You are all sealed in the barrels once again. As Zephyr, you turn your attention to the darkening, stormy sky, and the whirlwind of cravens come to feed on some unknown death taking place in Rosewick. as Fenya and Fenka give a nervous click to the animals, and you all begin to wheel towards the capital of the Kingdom of Thieves. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Why was
Oh,
I
for sh-
muted?
I thought for sure I was gonna have to do another save just before we ended.
Who muted me?
I didn't.
Austin?
What?
I saw my icon turn red.
Turn red.
Yeah, the mute icon turned red.
Weird.
Check out our website at officiald5hub.info. Resurrected from the grave like a
Sus.
filthy necromancer having strange dreams. Check out our link in chat to join our official D5 Discord server if you want to hang out with us directly, and support our episodes posted on Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Google Podcasts, the iHeart Podcast Network, wherever you happen to get them from. For our audio listeners, catch us live on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time on twitch.tv/Odd Tornado Productions. Check out Odd Tornado Productions official on Tumblr to find links to our other works, including our Human Rogues Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Killer5. That is 5 with a PH, don't get it wrong. If you enjoy what we do, please support us on Patreon. That link's about to be posted as well. On Ko-fi at ko-fi.com/Odd Tornado Productions. And follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/TornadoOdd. The TNO are in fact capitalized. And if you want to see more of this party, plus or minus a few, tune in Mondays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time for our Monday game, Under Locks and Keys, featuring a party of globe-trotting treasure hunters trying to assemble the artifacts of the gods from under the nose of technology-worshipping cultists. Thanks, everyone at the table, so much for playing. Thanks, everyone at home, so much for watching. And we'll see you all next week.